By way of introduction, Mark Hackle, Macomb County Executive, obviously in charge of many different things. And one of those areas is emergency management. And we have Paul Gillingham, the supervisor of Clinton Township, with us, and Brandon Lewis, who is the director of emergency management for the county. Interesting enough, we've done emergency management of my life in law enforcement, some 44 years ago. It's interesting to find out, what's the difference between emergency management as well as, public safety in general. Your law enforcement agencies, police, fire, and EMS. There is a difference, a distinct difference, but an incredible connectivity, especially when there's some type of a incident, like a large-scale incident that might happen, or even preventative nature to making sure things don't happen. And so with that, we have basically done emergency management throughout the entire county and have had those connectivities with all the different agencies that I got through mentioning. Clinton Township had their own emergency management for quite some time. And most recently, the director of that was Paul Brower, who I have known for many, many years, former fire chief in Clinton Township, as a matter of fact. Great guy. He was one that kind of led the way. He was a pioneer in and around that area. But he has since moved on, and Clinton Township had some decisions to make. And Paul, being the new supervisor, reached out to the county and asked if there would be an interest on behalf of the county to accept the responsibilities of also being the emergency manager for Clinton Township, which I believe would now create the situation where we're doing pretty much emergency management for everyone in the county, with the exception of Warren. The city of Warren has their own emergency management, and that's not a bad thing. And I say that for this reason, because Comtech, our communications center that we have here, Warren is our backup when it comes to, if there's an incident or situation that happens here, we want Warren to have their own established 911 center. It provides us the opportunity to obviously transfer our staff over there to manage the situation if something was to happen here. And obviously, if there was something to happen in the city of Warren, they would transfer their staff. We have some mutual aid agreement where we understand it. And basically, that's what emergency management is all about, mutual aid agreements, so that people understand. And it's not just police, fire, and EMS. It's the various utilities that are out there and beyond, connecting federal, state, and local agencies. And so I'll let Brandon talk a little bit more about that in a little bit here. But I want to turn it over to Paul because, some of the questions are what led into the decision-making process of looking at the county and saying, would you take the lead on emergency management, working alongside of police, fire, and EMS in Clinton Township, as well as his office? So with that, Paul Gillingham. Paul.
Great. Well, I'm going to actually use the podium because I'm not as off the cuff as County Executive Hackle. But basically what we're here to talk about today is this collaboration, to piggyback on what Mark said, coming together at multiple levels of government to do things better. One of the things we know is disasters know no boundaries. And they're going to happen. We can't always anticipate them, but having a team that's trained, that's skilled, that are professionals, that focus on this every single day is a tremendous benefit for Clinton Township. It's the job of local communities to figure out how we can respond without that ability to anticipate them. So this agreement allows Clinton Township to tap into a whole team of professionals who do this job actually for a living, who possess the training to know how to respond and know what to do and when to do it, and how they can advise us on how we do things better, both as incidences are developing and after the fact. Clinton Township, in the instance of a disaster in our community, will still be boots on the ground. Our first responders will be the people that are out there in the field. But now they're going to be backed up by a whole team of, I think it's 27 people, right? That are professionals that know what they do, likely have seen either that event or something similar in the past. So after the fact, they also know who to contact to ensure emergency declarations and responses for funding and additional resources can be tapped into. And they have the communication with the public and the impact for those who might be suffering from the fallout of a disaster. So more resources, cost savings for Clinton Township. What we will be doing at the township is naming 2 liaisons from Clinton Township, one of which is from our police department, who has training and experience in this area because he's not just one of our police officers in Clinton Township, he's the current liaison for his home community of New Haven, then as well as our fire chief who has much of the experience, but The other aspect of this is training, right? We need to know how to be able to tap into these resources, how this partnership is going to work. And we know that these are the people that can help us get prepared in any event that is possible. So the other thing is the new supervisor of Clinton Township advising me. And I think the important thing there to know is what I need to do, when I need to do it, and when I need to get out of the way and let people do what it is that they are trained to do. So I think that is an important aspect of this, and we can't be more pleased to be able to partner with the county to make sure that whatever happens, we've got a team, we're working together, get things done, and save our taxpayers money and be able to respond as quickly and as swiftly and as effectively as we can.
Interesting enough, we here at the county have always had emergency management. My upbringing, Lou Matuszewski back in the day. Some of you may know Lou. Some of you I see nodding your heads that are here already. But we also had Vicki Wolber, who was here, and now we have Brandon Lewis. And I say this as I've had the experience of working with these folks over the years. I've truly got a great deal of respect for them from a law enforcement perspective. They're the ones that truly do bring sometimes these law enforcement agencies together, fire departments together, when sometimes it's not an easy task. I mean, sometimes, there's a competitive nature, with fire departments and police departments amongst police departments, but they have the knack and they have that ability to figure out how do you put the swords down. Let's get together and figure out how do we solve a problem, and they know who to reach out to, and they've got an incredible amount of respect from the various communities. And I know Paul is going to see that firsthand. I think he already recognized that. That's why he's made this leadership decision to do what he's doing right now. And again, an incredible team of people working right here in this facility. In fact, this is Comtech, as we mentioned, is police, fire, EMS, but it's also emergency management, even our roads department and the technology we have. So Brandon Lewis, I'm just going to tell you, he's a guy that's been a shining star in this field. I think he's been well recognized, not just within the county, but beyond our borders. And with that being said, he's a person that's taken on a true leadership role in emergency management for those of us here in Macomb County. So Brandon.
Thanks, Mark. I'd like to begin by saying a word of thanks to Paul Brower. Paul faithfully served the residents of Clinton Township for over 50 years and was the township's emergency management coordinator for the last 33. 2 years ago, in recognition of his dedication, he was voted the Michigan Emergency Management Professional of the Year by his peers. Paul was a trusted colleague and remains a mentor and a friend. When Paul retired just before Christmas, I met with Supervisor Gillingham to have a conversation about emergency management. And I think we quickly realized that the county program and the township share several goals. Building and maintaining world-class emergency response capabilities, such as the county's technologically advanced Comtech facility, our hazardous materials response and technical rescue teams, which are amongst the best of their kind in the state and in the country, and fully integrated regionalized planning and response approaches, along with strong intergovernmental cooperation. Disasters don't follow municipal boundaries, and that which affects the rest of the county affects Clinton Township and vice versa. The county and the township have always had a strong public safety relationship of working collaboratively, and it became clear that there was much to be gained from Clinton Township joining our program and fostering even closer collaboration toward those goals. Going forward, not only will the county and the township be aligned and be collaborating toward those shared goals, now we're going to share the same emergency plans and we're going to share the same programs that we're going to be working together to meet those goals. So today, I'm proud to welcome Clinton Township to our emergency management program, and I look forward to working closely with Supervisor Gillingham, with Chiefs Karinji and Gallagher, and with the township's dedicated public safety professionals to continue to work toward a safer, more resilient Macomb County.
Some people look at this, is this giving up local control? And, I tend to, when I hear that, I'm thinking to myself, no, they just took on a different service provider. Clinton Township has been a leader in that area for some time. And even when Paul was working at the board, we do the dispatching for Clinton Township and many other communities throughout Macomb County. And we are their service provider. We don't take away their local control. They still have control for their police and fire that are responding to these scenes. We're just the ones that are the conduit for the people looking for that support and providing them the assistance they need from their local police and their fire. So there's no loss of local control whatsoever. Even the lockup, the local lockup that Clinton Township had is now the responsibility of the county sheriff. And that is incredibly important because the police officers need to be out on the streets, not sitting in a room watching. And obviously the liability associated with having your own lockup these days is incredible for a community. So wisely, Clinton Township recognized the importance of having the sheriff, who, by the way, it is their responsibility to maintain care and custody of prisoners, allow them the opportunity to manage the care of those prisoners that are brought into custody. So, this is just another step in that arena saying, we found a good partner as a service provider for the past 2 initiatives that we've taken on as a county. And Paul, seeing this, recognizes this as a leader of the township and the supervisory role, again, just kind of fits right into that. And again, no loss of control whatsoever. We are partnering, and those conversations will be had with our emergency management and Paul, as well as his police and fire, if there is an incident happening in Clinton Township.
And so while Mark is mentioning working together, I would be remiss, I'm new to the role of supervisor, but I need to thank my board of trustees because they approved this overwhelmingly. They recognized the need to be able to tap in to the professional team that's here at the county to be able to respond to any emergency that might come our way.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul.